What is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade, basketball analysis, coming to y'all with that discussion analysis. We're gonna talk about the Denver Nuggets. This is a popular question every single season since they made the playoffs a couple years ago. They obviously made it to the Western Conference Finals in the bubble. Jamal Murray did have that bubble series where they was able to get past Utah. They ended up getting past the Clippers and losing to the Lakers. Ever since then, they went all the way backwards. And, you know, this was a team that a lot of people looked at as a team that could be a legitimate contender a couple seasons ago. And now they're trying to get back to the contender status in the NBA. And it's interesting to see these things play out. Our vision and our thoughts of the Nuggets has changed throughout the season, like it does every team in the NBA. Obviously, Bol was a guy that people looked at as a project, a guy that could be a lot of things for this team. He's gone. PJ Dozier, a lot of people liked him. He had an opportunity to really make a name for himself in Denver. Then he got injured. He's gone. Michael Porter was a guy that a lot of people looked at as a steal in the NBA draft. He hasn't lived up to that superstar, all-star caliber level just yet. But he also got injured this year, had another huge setback, missing basically the entire year this season. Didn't look well or great at all this entire year that he played. And now we just don't know what this Nuggets team is at this point. Aaron Gordon was a great addition to this team, giving them defense, giving them playmaking, giving them that wing that they needed when Jeremy Grant left. Jeremy Grant was more of a scorer, not a great shooter. He did fit well with the team. They did get to the Western Conference Finals with them on the roster. But, injuries and chaos put this team far back than where they want to be at this point. And you only want to build upon what you do, and you eventually want to get a title without the setbacks. And they are way further away from winning the title than they once was 2-3 years ago, including the bubble when they was they closest to it. But I think this is a tough decision for the Denver Nuggets, and that's why it's been a popular question, especially the last two seasons since Jeremy Grant left this offseason to go, 2 years ago to go to Detroit. Um, the injuries, one, I didn't see Jamal Murray tearing his ACL. Like I said, he had the best run of his career in the bubble. Then last season, it looked like they was going to make a run. Then he tore his ACL. And then it looked like they had it all solved and all figured out. Then Murray knee went out, and then he missed this entire year. Then, like I said, Michael Porter goes down, and now they're in a point right now where Aaron Gordon got an extension. Um, Obviously, Michael Porter got his extension. Jamal Murray already got his extension, and this team is way further away than they needed to be at this point. And that's the chaos part right there, because Jokic is eligible. And I talked to this with my girlfriend Destiny. He's eligible for the Supermax. To me, in my personal opinion, this is Jokic's team, which a lot of us agree with. This will be Jokic's team for a long time if he decides to stay. He is an All NBA MVP last year, in the MVP and All NBA first team category. This year, the season hasn't ended. And, he's already eligible for the Supermax because he made an All NBA team before under this current contract, which makes him eligible for it. The problem with it is, when we've seen this through sports, we've seen this through the history of sports, when you have a team that's so close, like they was in the bubble, when you have a team that's so close that when they start figuring it out and everything just blew up right in front of them last season, it really makes you think, what is this team going to do? And I was asked this question before the season even started. I am a person that believes that you give Jokic the Supermax Not only because he deserves it, not only because he's one of the best players in the league for the multiple seasons in a row, and his team could bust. Last year, and they still got to the second round, beating the Blazers in the first round. This team could bust this year, and they still in the playoffs for this year. Everybody been in and out this entire season, whether it's Porter. Murray hasn't played one game. And the lineup changed with COVID contracts and guys being injured like Dozier and Bobo. And they had to let those guys go. And they still been competitive, still been a playoff team, still significantly above 500. Without all those peaks, in its reality right now, and it just shows you the value. Yeah. It shows you the worth of Jokic. Nikola Jokic is a baller. He's a franchise guy, and I had Jokic in my top 10 before. I voted for him for MVP and All NBA first team prior to this season, and even before this season, he made it before several seasons. So it just shows you that a guy that can dominate the game with his scoring, with his passing, with his versatility, making it easier for anybody you plug around him. Like, you look at this team changing from 4 years ago to now. So many pieces, as I said, has continued to change for better or worse. And this team keeps winning and keeps winning and keeps winning. And Jokic has been the most healthiest out of all these guys that has been fluctuating and flowing in and out of this Denver Nuggets organization throughout these years, and Jokic has balled throughout these years and kept them afloat as a winning team in the Western Conference for multiple seasons in a row. The question is, how do you build a championship team around one of the best, if not the best center in the NBA? And that's a question that I get, and that's a question that I get asked frequently too. Can you win a championship with a center as your best player? It hasn't been done in over a decade, which was Shaq and Kobe winning multiple titles in LA. And Shaq was the best player on that roster in the Finals MVP every single season of those championship teams. And that was the last guy that dominated enough to lead you to a title, and it hasn't been done since when it comes from the center position. But Jokic and Embiid have been battling for that best center spot for the last couple years. Both of those players haven't won a title as the guy. They both haven't made it to the NBA Finals yet in their young careers, and we never know if they will or not, honestly. But that's the biggest question of why I made this video and why so many people ask me that each and every year. Not only for the center conversation, which is, the obvious point now because this is Jokic's team. This team has been a playoff team, regardless, like I said, who we put around this roster. As long as Jokic has been healthy, they have continued to win. That's all NBA first team. That's the reason why he's an MVP already. And that's the reason why he's in that conversation now. And that's the reason why we ask that question, what does it take for Denver to actually get to the finals and win a title? And health is one thing, but as we know in the NBA, everybody deals with it. Injuries, teams can either win a title or lose a title, depending on who gets injured during a season or during the playoffs. But to me, I think you can win a title with Jokic. Do I know how? No, but that's something that Denver is going to have to figure out. It's tough when your supporting cast is continually injured throughout the years, especially these last 2 years, as they've been trying to build towards that championship run. I still think, looking at this team, honestly, this team should give Jokic the supermax. This team should give him all 5 years that he's eligible for when he's offered. I mean, they should offer him an extension, is what I'm saying. And I think that it's the right decision. But it's going to be hard for them to win a title with Jokic because he has done, to me, all that he really can do as an individual player. Like, when you're the MVP of the league, when you're an all NBA first team player multiple seasons, It shows you that you done your part as a franchise guy. Even in the playoffs, he has done it uh, so far in his career. The talent that's necessary around him is important to get it done. Obviously, it's a championship team. You need guys that fit, play well, and stay healthy to make a deep run that ends in a championship. But is it him and Murray? We haven't seen Murray play for a long time because of the ACL injury. He does fit well with Jokic. He does play well off Jokic. They do complement each other very well. Still not the greatest defensive duo. Murray hasn't been an all-star or all NBA player ever in his career. Same with Porter and every other player that they pretty much put around Jokic at this point. And it's really tough to say if you can win a title with Jokic. We don't know until it's proven. We know that he is one of the best players. We know that they're capable of getting it done. But, honestly, it's just tough to really see what this team will be in the future. Obviously, like I said, this team has changed throughout the years already. And to me, Jokic is their best player. He is their franchise. I don't really see nobody, passing that up no time soon. But, this team will change. I don't believe Porter will be here long term. Maybe not even Murray, because maybe not even Aaron Gordon, who wasn't a part of this team before they even made it to the Western Conference Finals, which has been their best run with Jokic. But it's going to be tough. I think trading Aaron Gordon will be interesting to see what you get back in return. Obviously, if you're trading Aaron Gordon, you're trying to upgrade talent to get over that hump to win a title. Michael Porter Jr. plays well with Jokic, but he doesn't play well with Murray and Jokic. And he isn't a great defender either. When you look at it from that perspective, Jokic ain't a great defender. Neither is Murray. Neither is Porter. Plus, they haven't really fit or figured that part out offensively yet, and the injuries didn't help that either. I like this team, honestly, that they have built roster-wise, but, realistically, they're going to have to make a gutsy move that they're going to have to live with like every other team in NBA history each and every year throughout NBA history had to do. Do I know what they're going to do? Do I know what they're going to get? No, but I do know they have enough, with Jokic, that if you put the right stuff and get the right healthy players around them that fit, they can get it done. Will they get it done? I don't know. But they have proven that they can be dangerous. They have proven that they're good enough to get it done. We just haven't seen the right version of the Denver Nuggets that, can get it done. And when all these extensions are made and Jokic is now eligible and should and will get, clearly and obviously the Supermax at this point, guys going to have to max out. Another question before I end the video: should they take a gamble if Jokic is eligible for the Supermax and they give it to him? Should they blow it up right away? I'm more of a guy that believe Jokic extension won't kick in until that season that it kicks in. Porter's kick in or kicks in once his rookie contract is over. Jamal Murray's is already in. Aaron Gordon kicks in, I believe, next year. Um, they have a chance to run it and see if this team healthy can get it done. You can say that about any team in the off season. When the season starts, you won't really know until the playoff starts next year. But what I will say is it's going to be tough. It's going to be ugly, but that's the thing that all these franchises go through. But to me, I like what they have done. I like the fact that, this team has really went through a lot of changes, but they still honestly have enough to eventually win a title in the future. Like, this isn't a blow it up year. It's over. Obviously, we knew that once everybody got destroyed this year. this season and they still a playoff team. It just shows you how good Mike Malone and this franchise has been throughout these years with the Denver Nuggets. So honestly, they're gonna have to make a big decision this off season or next one. Obviously, every team is trying to make runs for a title, just like the Nuggets. So realistically, just because they try it with everybody healthy, they still got to get through the season. They still got to get through the playoffs. They still got to win the title. Then everybody contracts kick in, and then guys got to get moved. If they don't win it next year, which everybody's gunning for a title, only one team is going to win the title, and it might not be the Nuggets. So honestly, this team might be in another direction this offseason or next one. But this is Jokic's franchise. He is a guy you can build around. He is a guy you can win with. He is a guy that can get you over the hump, possibly, with the right talent around him necessary to beat the team that's in front of him and win the title. So I like the direction. I like what they're doing with Jokic. You definitely give him the Supermax. And that's just my honest opinion. But the Nuggets, I told y'all years ago, they close. They improving. They growing. But that don't mean they going to win the title. Those years have passed. They haven't won that title, and they're further away from it than they want it to be. But, once they give Jokic that contract that he deserves and he will get, we'll see how this team will look, and we'll see how they build it, and we'll see if they can win a championship with the center as their best player with Jokic. But I will also say, in a funny way, we'll see, competition-wise, can Embiid or Jokic win a title first? And it's funny, too, because they in separate conferences, one in the West, one in the East. So they technically could meet in the finals and decide who can be the NBA champion, who can lead their team to a title. It's possible. It could happen. We'll see if it will. If it don't, we ain't going to trip. But it is something that could happen in the future because everybody always talking about Jokic and Embiid, Jokic and Embiid, Jokic and Embiid. But honestly, I'm going with Jokic like I did multiple seasons, including this one. And, we'll see what happens in the future. Quinn Wade, basketball analysis, signing out. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of y'all day. Hopefully see y'all tomorrow. I'm gone.